The devil of Hell's Kitchen, if you may.
Habibi, in the Saudi context, you would be called Mahami Matt Murdock, huh?
I charge a modest amount, but oh well. Let me know if I'm centered, because I'm using my phone today.
You are not right now centered. Just try to, try to.
Give me a second. Hang on.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time. The community is waiting. I'm really glad a lot of people have joined us in the public chat.
How's that?
God bless you all for joining in. It means a lot. Just please bear with me. I just need to update the community.
Does that look okay?
I think so. Son of Sparda, you just need to lower the camera a little bit because we can't see your. Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
The Daredevil beard.
The Daredevil beard. The Daredevil beard. Son of Sparda, say hello to SuperM, whom I'm sure you have seen on the MDC team.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you. How are you doing?
He's talking to you, Son of Sparda.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was breaking up a little bit. What'd you say?
No, take your time. It's fine. I was saying, how are you doing? I think it's the Daredevil ears.
Oh, it is. It is. We got these horns on top, and then
the special hearing.
My hearing's off today. I got a beating from Kingpin, so I do apologize for that.
Did you convey our regards to Kingpin?
I'm gonna turn off the AC because I can't. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get some headphones.
Yeah, get some headphones. Just get everything because we need to start the discussion really soon. The community is waiting.
Yeah.
So we don't want to leave them hanging here.
Is there a way I can enhance my picture? Basically, I think it's very hard to the audience.
Don't worry about that because the streaming app is going to take care of it. Inshallah, you just keep the setting the way they are because we don't need any other glitch coming in. Okay, we are almost done.
Oh, hang on.
Bro, you need to rotate your screen, Son of Sparda.
That should be right side, right? Is that the right side?
It's vertical, and you're not appearing horizontal.
Oh, why is that? Oh, hang on. Yeah, the problems of using your phone, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Now it's perfect, bro. Now it's perfect.
Perfect. Hang on.
Yeah, just adjust the angle so that people can see your beautiful helmet, Daredevil helmet.
Hang on. Oh my goodness, what's going on today?
It happens, Habibi. Live streams are a bit of a challenge. As long as you get it right, that's the most important thing.
All right, how's that?
Again, bro, you need to rotate the screen.
Oh.
If he can't rotate, it's not that bad, because he's in the middle.
How's that?
Now it's perfect.
Perfect.
Now it's
That's
perfect.
good.
Perfect.
Are we ready, guys?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's very special Superheroes of Arabia live episode where we are joined by a young rising star from the local superhero fandom. He has been part of an amazing team that has been creating content for our favorite superheroes, be they from DC, be they from Marvel, even looking up on characters from Image and other books. Please join us in
Yeah.
welcoming the one, the only Super M from MDC, also known as Arabic MDC.
Ooh.
Thank you. Thank you. Shukran. Shukran. Thank you
Allah
very much.
yasallam. Allah
I'm so
yasallam.
happy to be here.
Thanks for
Son of,
joining us.
son of Sparda, your camera is out of
Thank
focus.
you.
You need
No,
to
no.
edit
Oh,
it.
there we go.
Best. Yeah, now it's
All
perfect.
right.
Now it's perfect.
All right. All right.
Okay, guys, so tonight is a very special episode because we are not going to be talking about only what's going on in Marvel Studios. We are going to be talking about the recent TCG Con that happened in Riyadh, which Super M, along with his team, were able to visit and basically check out. They were able to meet a lot of amazing collectors. They even got the chance to meet Sultan Saad, the owner of Comicverse. Then
Wow.
we are going to be
Yeah.
talking about the elephant in the room, which is Spider Man, because just before we started our live stream, m- less than an hour ago, they dropped the trailer for Spider-Man Noir, which is also known as Spider, and it's a small teaser. So a lot is going on right now. We are few months away from Spider-Man Brand New Day. We are just days away from Daredevil Born Again. Doctor Doom is also creating a lot of suspense. There's Supergirl. Then there is we want to pay a tribute to Jack Kirby because it's been like more than 30 years when we lost him back in 1994. Masters of the Universe. So guys, what do you
Lots to
have to say,
talk about.
Muhammad,
Well,
the Super M?
Yeah.
Please, how are you feeling with all the roster, the lineup of things that are coming, that are headed our way?
I'm very excited. Um, it's such a joy to talk about those kinds of things. We shot around 20 or more than 20 episodes with Capcast. It's a comic book podcast, and every
Yes.
single time it's a pleasure. It's a joy. So to have this conversation with you two, son of Jeddah and son of Sparta, it's such an honor, and
the
it
honor is
bears
ours.
a lot of. Thank
Well,
you. Thank
the
you.
technically the pleasure is ours, Super M. But what do you have to say about the lineup, the things that we have just listed down in our conversation right now at the beginning of our conversation? What are your expectations? How are you feeling
Yeah,
about it?
yeah, I'm feeling great. It's a heavy year, okay. It's so nice to have those kinds of shows and movies about the comic books. So I'm excited to talk about Spider-Man, Daredevil, which is around the corner here, and also about TCJ, the devil of the kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen, yes,
uh,
yes.
yeah, and TCG. It was a joy. It was a sweet weekend, you know. Also, Jack Kirby, a big
Okay,
legend.
no doubt, no doubt. Super M, when you visited TCG, I mean, like, what was your initial reaction? Because we haven't been having Comic Con in Saudi Arabia for the last 2 years, whether it's in Jeddah, whether
Yeah,
it's in Riyadh. So before TCG happened, there was Saudi Collectors Fest. So how are you seeing this development? Is it promising for superhero fans or not, or is it something only for anime and Pokemon fans?
I didn't attend the first one, the
Mhm.
collectors, but I went to the TCG with the MDC team,
Mhm.
with company with the other creative company, which is a sponsor for MDC team.
Mhm.
We were there as media press, you know.
Right.
It was a 3 days convention. Um, 2 days were publicly opened for any visitors. So it was. I thought it was going to be a bigger place, bigger area. You
Mhm.
know, um, I thought there will be going to have a more diversity. You know,
Right.
but there was enough diversity, I could say, from Pokemons to comics to um, video games. I think it's kind of promising. I think it's rely on the people who are attending there.
You
You know,
find it,
anything
you
could
find,
happen.
okay, so you said that there wasn't a lot of diversity. So when you say not a lot of diversity, was it the reason that it was too much anime?
Yeah, I think that's a common problem in every event we have in Saudi. You know, and there is nothing wrong with anime. We all
Yeah.
love anime, but you know, there is other stuff here.
Other
But I'm
stuff.
not I'm not an expert in this. Yeah,
Okay.
I was going to say there was. No, no, sorry, go on,
No, no, please
please.
continue. Please continue. Please continue.
Yeah. I was going to say I'm not very expert on cards, you know, Pokemon and yoga and that sort of stuff.
Same
But
here.
I think it was good enough. Yeah, it was good enough for the fans of those kinds of stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Can, can I add
What did?
something?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
So first of all, such a pleasure having our guest with us today. It's so rare that we get to hear from people from other regions of the country. So we're always glad to hear from our brothers and sisters, our collectors and fans who are from other regions. Um, I'd like to ask, just because I'm not too familiar with this convention, were there any big names or guests, popular collectors or celebrities or anything of that sort at this convention?
I wasn't there the whole convention. It was 2 days for publicly. I was in the first
Mhm.
day, so I saw a couple of YouTubers which I was familiar
Yeah.
with. I met a legend of mine.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, yeah, and I think it was mainly about content creators, famous content creators,
Gotcha.
much more uh, than
Gotcha.
collectors. Yeah,
Much more than,
but they were
okay.
famous stars.
So they were more content creators than
Famous,
collectors.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do
Uh,
you? Yeah. Sorry. Please continue.
oh, I was going to ask, were there any specific kind of collectibles that stood out to you that maybe most people were trying to buy, or were maybe exclusive to the convention? Or, did anyone seem particularly happy about purchasing one specific thing that was only available there?
I don't know if it was only available there,
Mhm.
but I know there were available collectings
Yeah,
because there were a lot of trades, you know.
yeah,
Um, there even was trophies.
gotcha,
They gave Comic Verse a trophy,
gotcha,
the best star related to superhero stuff.
gotcha. Now, Son of Jeddah and some of our viewers know this about me, and I don't know. I guess I don't think, but I would be particularly very excited to hear if it was available there. I'm a collector of, in addition to, figurines and statues, I also collect celebrity autographs. And I realize maybe there's not a big market for it here yet, maybe someday. Was there anyone
Yeah,
over there selling autographs?
I haven't seen any.
Oh, okay. Hopefully
I
someday
didn't.
people will. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it wasn't that big of an area. There wasn't a lot of stores, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So
It's promising as a concept.
right,
Yeah,
right. Promising as a concept. Okay.
yeah,
What do you see like the future of this becoming? Because hopefully it develops more and more and attracts more people and collectors. Do you see like next year being even bigger than it was this year?
yeah. I think it paves the way to
Oh,
have bigger conventions. You know,
gotcha.
I hope next year we have
Right.
Comic Con somehow,
Gotcha.
especially here in Riyadh. I'm sorry for that, but we need that.
No, absolutely. I mean, hopefully, we get some in Riyadh, and at some point we get some here in Jeddah and over at the East Coast as well. We hope all collectors can benefit. But yeah, definitely, we
Yeah,
would love to at some point go out and check out what's been going on in the scene over in Riyadh.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
It doesn't
Super M.
matter where.
It doesn't matter where.
Yeah.
Super M, can you share with us what was the most interesting thing you saw at Comicverse booth at TCG?
It was mainly about figures, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think the great thing about what Sultan did there, it was very great prices, you know. I
Mm-hmm.
know when stores go to conventions, they change the prices, you know. They try to take advantage of the event, of
Right.
you know, the people who don't have enough knowledge about it that would buy with any price. So I think it was sweet to have him there. He had the two booths, not just one.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Now I'm really glad,
Yeah,
man. Sultan participated there. He represented the superhero community, and I'm really glad. Now let's go to the elephant in the room, and that is Spider-Man. So
yeah,
uh, just few minutes ago, literally few minutes ago, uh, the trailer or the teaser, I might say, for Spider-Man Noir or Spider has been released all across social media. The series that will star Nicolas Cage reprising his role as Spider-Man Noir. And what are your initial thoughts? I'll start with Super M and then Son of Sparda. I'll come to you.
Yeah.
yeah. Let me go after you, please.
Habibi,
I want to
please,
hear from you first.
bro, you are the special guest tonight, so please,
You're a guest of honor.
you're the guest of honor for us.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I love the story about Spider Noir. You know, whenever
Right,
he pops around and the Spider-Man shows, you know, especially in the animations, we saw him a couple of times. Especially in the Ultimate Spider-Man one, it was a very nice appearance. So I think the people already love him, even from the animation movies. So it's a different experience, you know, to have the show, especially with Nicolas Cage,
hmm
you know, a movie legend. It's a different aspect. It's a different kind of presentation of Spider-Man.
hmm
So I liked what I saw. I liked that we see the color, the absent colors. We see it only in black and white, and sometimes we see it in colors. So I'm still confused about that. Is the show going to be colored or black and white?
Can I answer that?
Please go ahead.
Yeah,
So
please.
they were actually, I only sent to our group one trailer. There were actually two trailers. One was black and white, one was in color. And you will have the option to either watch it black and white as I guess maybe some people intended to watch it, or specific to the character, or in color.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that will work?
I am not a big fan, because developed a if you developed an idea that was supposed to be black and white, because the word, uh, I mean, it comes from the comic book series Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah.
And for those of us who
Yeah.
are aware of the classic Hollywood genre, they tried in Hollywood to produce movies that would be colored, but they would be having the noir feel into it. It just
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Mm.
And I think we live in an age where people want to provide options to the consumers, people like us.
Yeah.
But as a
Yeah.
consumer, as somebody who is a superhero fan, as somebody who really enjoyed and also who loved seeing Nicolas Cage being part of the Spider-Verse saga, uh, I don't want it in colored. If I want to watch Spider-Man Noir, it has to be black and white.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
What about you,
I
son
think
of
it's very
Sparda?
hard to make it success. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, no, I was just going to say it's very hard to make it success. To have both versions
Yep.
out there.
Absolutely. Um,
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, we are so Spider-Man fans are going to be very happy this year. We're not getting one, not two, but three Spider-Man projects. So we're getting Spider-Man Noir, Brand New Day, starring Tom Holland in July,
Yeah.
and then later on, the undetermined release date, we're getting Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2, the animated series. So I think it's very rare that we've had this many Spider-Man projects in one year. So I'm very excited. Like I said, Nick Cage, award-winning actor. One movie that stood out to me that he did a couple of years ago. I'm struggling to remember the name of it. I think it was called The Unbearable Weight of an Untalented Actor, or something like that, where he plays himself opposite Pedro Pascal, and it's hilarious what he does in that movie. So I watched the trailer and anticipated that it would be one of those superhero limited series or movies where he doesn't get his powers towards the end. But no, I think we might get a few flashbacks, and maybe towards the second episode or so, we will see a fully fledged Spider-Man swinging through the city. So I'm very excited about that. I like the noir feel. I don't think we've had anything like it in the MCU. Not that this is probably not connected to the MCU, but it's still hopefully going to be very exciting nonetheless.
SuperM?
Yeah. I think the closest thing, with the closest project we saw to Spider Noir was Werewolf by Night. I haven't seen
Yes.
it myself, but from the trailers I saw and like that, I think it's the same atmosphere, and that's exactly why I like Spider Noir. It's the
Yeah,
atmosphere, it's the it's the experience. To have it in black and white, to have it in old age. He's he's just an old Spider-Man, but doing the same things. In a different frame,
yeah.
in a different kind of perspective. Yeah, I think I'm very excited.
I'd like to share a question from one member of the community, Ladsin 777. First of all, Ladsin, thank you for joining our live stream in the
Thank you.
chat. And okay, for Muhammad, sorry, Ladsin is asking, do you think there was a better actor for this role?
Go fast, please.
No, no, Super M, do you think there was a better actor for this role?
I think Spider Noir in the comics is usually younger than that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's not much older than Peter Parker.
Right.
Not that old, at least. Yeah. So, but Nicolas Cage could give the role the thing that it's needed for. You know, the old types. The Hollywood classic old timer. You need that for this specific show.
Can I add something?
Please, son of Sparda.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing I think I remember from Nicolas Cage's interviews after he did Ghost Rider, is that he doesn't like to do characters that other people have done before, and because he likes to give a fresh take on someone like Ghost Rider. No one's ever done a live action Ghost Rider before he did. And so he was gonna be Superman at one point. He was gonna do his own fresh take with directing Tim Burton at the time, and now he's been the first one to do Spider-Man Noir in an animated form, and now he's gonna be the first one to do him in live action form. And I think this character is meant to be a little more gritty, unlike Peter Parker. Now they're calling him Ben Reilly, which is the name of in the comics originally the Scarlet Spider. But this is an alternate universe, so they've adapted the name for this character. He's not Peter. He's not Peter Parker. So uh, either way, this character is supposed to be much grittier. He's supposed to have suffered some kind of loss, something bigger than just Uncle Ben. Maybe Mary Jane died, something else. So we'll see how that plays out. But I think he's from the trailer. He looks like he's doing a good job, and he's having fun doing it. So hopefully we'll be able to see that as well. He'll have his gritty side and he'll have his fun sides at some point.
Yeah. I think I agree. Maybe we could have a great choice, but I don't think he's bad until now.
I'm all up for Nicolas Cage. Like both of you have said, that he's a great actor and he understands the noir genre. He comes from the famous Coppola family. The Godfather director Francis Ford Coppola is his uncle, I believe.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's getting into.
Yeah.
Now, for me, it's a bit of a surprise because I wasn't able to follow up on this part that this is not going to be Peter Parker. This is going to be based on Ben Riley. And
Yeah.
for those of you who are not aware of Ben Riley is actually a clone of Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was created by the Jackal. So, and right now, Silvermane is going to be one of the antagonists here.
Yeah.
But if there's going to be Ben Riley, there's definitely going to be the Jackal in this series. Uh, we in Jeddah had the honor to see Nicolas Cage up close during the Red Sea International Film Festival. And one of the good things about Nicolas Cage is that he loves the superhero genre. He himself is a passionate collector of comics. And I think his passion is going to drive his work in this series as well. And it's going to be a hit. I didn't see anything in the teaser that would worry me. Uh, but then again, I mean, like this is a joint project between Sony and Amazon MGM. Let's see how these guys go on with it.
And we should maybe also mention that Amazon has been doing a great job lately with their series, with their Fallout series. I haven't watched it, but I've been hearing great things. Their Fallout series, the Boys series, and the spin-off of the Boys called Gen Z. All incredible, great shows. They're also developing a God of War series and I believe a Tomb Raider series.
Yes, Tomb Raider also.
Invincible also.
Yeah.
Invincible also, yes. Invincible, which is a huge
Yeah.
thing for younger superhero fans.
Yeah.
And it is
Especially Spider-Man fans.
Oh yes, you are absolutely right. Invincible is basically the template of Spider-Man, except that he doesn't have the insect powers. Or
Yeah.
not insect powers. He's not bitten by a radioactive spider.
And he's an alien also.
Yeah. Yes, his dad is a corrupted Superman.
Before,
Okay,
can I add something, please?
please do.
Before
Please
before
go
we
ahead.
leave the Spider Noir,
Yeah.
I think before we go on from the black and white issue, I think it could work because in the last decade, especially the last 5 years, we had a couple of experiences that were black and white or mostly black and white,
Yeah.
and I think the audience, even the younger audience, were able to, connect with that. We saw it on Oppenheimer. It was a huge, a massive success.
No doubt.
We saw it on, yeah, we saw it on also on the Zendaya film. I think she had a film where it was black and white. The Maestro from Bradley Cooper, who directed and acted and wrote the film. So I think people could be able to accept that kind of shows.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now, from one spider to another, I don't know, Super M, have you ever read a comic book called Marvel Team Up?
The one that came out in the Spider-Man Ultimate era.
Uh, yes, but uh, the original one that was published in the early 70s and it continued till the mid 80s. So both, yes, the Ultimate Universe Team Up and the original one. You're familiar with those, right?
I know about them. I know about what Punisher did and his appearance,
Mhm.
but I haven't read them.
It's okay because the
Yeah.
reason I asked this question to both of you, Son of Sparda, you're aware of the Marvel Team Up comics?
A little bit also. Aware of it. Haven't seen the last one that came out, but do tell us what's going on.
Okay, so in the 1970s, Marvel Comics came up with the idea to have team up comic books. So they had a supervillain team up. They had a Marvel team up that had Spider-Man as the fixture,
Mm,
and he would be joined by other heroes from the Marvel universe, and it would include all kinds of heroes, whether they were A-listers, B-listers, C-listers, you name it.
right.
One of the most popular series, which sadly came to an end in the mid 80s. And for me, Spider-Man Brand New Day is looking like uh, a page out of the Marvel team up comic, whether it is from the Ultimate Universe, because the stories that were done by Brian Michael Bendis in the Ultimate Universe for team up were some of my favorites. I read the one where there was a team up between the Punisher, Daredevil, and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel that this movie is grounded in the comic book genre. And the director who has been responsible for Shang-Chi and Wonder Man, uh, I'm not a big fan of his work for Shang-Chi, but Wonder Man I really enjoyed. I feel that this one is going to make us forget Spider-Man No Way Home. Am I right to think that way?
Oh, okay. I have one question for I guess the both of you. Because I think one thing
Yeah.
that differentiated Spider-Man No Way Home from all the others in the series and so many other things that we got in recent projects was the pop when we got the classic Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Do you
Yes.
think we'll get moments in this movie that will surpass that pop, where everyone in the theater will get up and applaud?
Super M, what do you think?
Um, Maybe we could have
Yep.
some of that, but I think they will reserve the most of it for
Yep.
Avengers movies, But we could have a couple of them. Hulk is going to appear, Punisher, Daredevil, okay?
Yep.
So, but I don't think it's going to be the same feeling, We knew that the two spiders are going to appear. Yet it was an insane experience.
Yeah.
I feel that the cameos, it's not going to be about the cameos that we will find, because Spider-Man No Way Home had a lot of, I don't know, should we call them cameos or not, but like, for example, we saw Tobey Maguire, we saw Andrew Garfield, there was Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin, there
Yeah.
was Alfred
Alfred
Molina,
Molina. Yeah.
Dr. Octopus, there was Jamie Foxx as Electro, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
And in this one, what really pulls me towards this movie is the presence of the Punisher,
Yeah.
the presence of the Hulk, the mind controlling villain who is from the X-Men stories.
Yeah.
Okay, it's from the late 90s, when Marvel was not doing pretty well, but it came out from one of the best series ever. I'm going to be sharing the name and everything because it just flew away from my mind. uh, and then at the same time, there is expectation that Sadie Sink is going to be Jean Grey, so this movie might be the precursor to the more mutant saga.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
this one is going to be about the relevant characters that are going to be part of the future of MCU. Unlike No Way Home, where we came across Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, who are the past of not MCU but Spider-Man franchise. This is how I feel. But how do you guys look into it?
Go ahead, Super.
Um, okay. Look, we all loved No Way Home, whether you like it as a movie or as an experience. You know, I think you can differentiate those two things, especially in No Way Home. Okay,
Mhm.
but when you look back at the movie, I think most of Spider-Man fans will love the experience, will love that day, will love the memory of Spider-Man No Way Home, but they will never love the writing of that movie. You know, I especially don't like it. Okay, I loved the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield appearances. You know, their the three spiders dream. You know, to have the three of them on the same screen and the crazy chemistry that they had, and you know, they never worked together before. You know, just an
True.
insane Spider-Man chemistry that lives inside each one of them. You know, I'm very excited for brand new day. You know, I have a question I want to ask you both. When I
Please.
finish, I will say. But I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm very excited to see the experience. I think they somehow learned about what the audience wants. You know, they're not going to be fully related or fully focused on what the comics fans want, but I think they could meet the fans in the middle ground. You know, middle of the way. Um, I'm excited for Sadie Singh. She's a great actress, great young actress. And Stranger Things, she dominated the cast. I think she surpassed every single one of them. You know, from
Right.
the young actors. Um, I'm excited for Punisher. You know, I think you both know, you definitely know how the Punisher could uh, play out an amazing story with Spider-Man, especially
Yes.
the contraction between the two of them, the
Yes.
special interaction, because you know every one of the two have is very convinced on what he believes, very convinced
Yes.
on what he does. You know, and in so many things they are opposite, and in so many things they are alike. Like Punisher and Daredevil. You know,
Yes. Yes.
so
Yes.
I'm very excited.
Okay. Super M, before you start with your question, I would like to read a comment a beautiful comment we got from one of the community members. This one is from Saad Bushish. Okay, Saad Bushish 8339. Uh, I'm a fan of you guys, but I'm a huge fan of Muhammad Super M. He is so talented
Thank you.
and amazing. What a guest you guys invited. Oh man, our thoughts are
Thank
the
you.
same. Our thoughts are the same. We agree with you, Saad. I love
Thank you.
Cape Cast and Super M. He is so good and great. I love you, Muhammad. I'm a big fan of you. Lots of
Thank you,
hearts.
Saad. Shukran. Shukran. Shukran, Saad. And thank you for the both of you. You're very kind.
We Saad, we share your sentiments because both me and Son of Sparda, uh, when we sent an invite to Super M and he was kind enough to accept you, we just can't express that how happy and delighted we were, because we want as many grounded, rooted voices. We want people
Yeah.
from our age groups. We want people who are senior to us. We want people from the younger generation because they are the future. So when
Yeah.
Super M accepted that invite of ours, we felt exactly the same way you do right now. So Alhamdulillah,
I also felt amazing. I
God
was
bless you. God bless
in the thank you, thank you. I was in college, you know. But when I first read your message, I was yes, finally I'm going to meet those guys, you know. Now I mostly know everyone in the roster of comic books content creators, but there's just one spot at the top that I have to meet, and I'm glad that that opportunity came out to
Alhamdulillah.
happen.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, Super M, you had a question for both me and Son of Sparda, so please.
Okay, so the question is something that we had discussed in Capecast for so many times. Okay, I think if Saad, Abdurrahman, and Faris see this clip, they will understand what I'm going to say. Also, our audience, we share the same audience mostly. You, us, the Jabha, even the comic verse guys,
Alhamdulillah.
it's all the same. So we always had this conversation about Spider-Man Brand New Day. Okay,
Right.
so I want to see from a comic perspective. Okay, from a long time comic readers, what do you think about this subject, which is the amount of superheroes and the amount of characters involved in one movie. Okay, if it's going to affect the flow of the movie, if it's going to affect the screen time of Spider-Man. I personally think that the Superman movie from James Gunn was amazing, but one of the main problems were that there was so many characters, and that was good, but that I think affected the screen time of Superman. I think we could have seen a lot more of Superman. So do you think that will happen with Spider-Man or not?
Son of Sparda.
So here's the thing. I think Marvel has done a fantastic job, pardon my pun, of balancing out, characters of large groups. They did a great job in Infinity War, and you remember how many characters we had in that. They did a
Yeah.
better job even in Endgame. They did a great job in Fantastic Four. I feel like they excel in giving a very nice balance and giving everyone something to do in these movies. Because it would be very pointless to have all these names and not a good balance for all the characters to do something either together or individually. For the case of until we find out what the story is, it's going to be hard to tell exactly. But I feel like, for one thing, we know that Peter is navigating this world where no one knows him. There's no Aunt May. She sadly passed in the last movie. There's no Ned. There's no MJ. No one knows him. So I don't think there's even. He's not doing much of doing Peter Parker school and college. I think we're going to see a little bit of that, but I think he's mostly doing a lot of Spider-Man stuff and finding his place in the world. And I think that involves dealing with these other characters of Hulk being a raging monster, possibly in this movie, because we haven't seen that side of Hulk for a while, and Punisher being a
No more smart
what
Hulk.
was that?
No more smart Hulk.
Exactly. Hopefully, yes. We'd like to see a savage Hulk, right? Destroy, destroying the city
The
for
stupid
once.
one.
I feel like we haven't
Yeah.
seen that guy in forever. So hopefully we see that. And the Punisher himself as a character, they were trying to deal with him in the show because his whole thing is that he kills people. So uh, I've heard whether this is true or not, we'll find out. I've heard that they've toned down the violence on the Punisher's end, but I'm sure he'll still be a little violent. What I've heard is they're saving all the violence for his special movie in on Disney Plus. So we'll see a lot of violence there at some point.
Okay.
Okay,
My
something to
take, my take is slightly from a different angle, and obviously, uh, both of you are aware that I always come from the comic book angle.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
But before I answer that, there is another comment from Ladson 777. They loved your question, Super M.
thank
So
you.
for me, the involvement of multiple superheroes in a single project, whether it's a TV live action or it's a movie or it's an animated series or it's an animated feature, for me, that's not the issue. My issue is that when you are, because that's the reality of the DC and Marvel universe. If you're talking about Superman, you will find cameos or appearances from Supergirl or from Batman or from Green Lantern or from uh, a second tier hero. Uh, you know, Same thing goes with Marvel. In Marvel, it goes a bit extra more. Why? Because that's how Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, John Romita had imagined that it would be an interconnected universe. So whatever is happening in Spider-Man is going to affect either directly or indirectly the X-Men, the Avengers, or the Fantastic Four, depending where the direction is going.
Okay.
My issue
Yeah.
is that, or my question always is that the format of 2 hours, is that enough to tell a story?
I want to add something if I may.
Please.
Um, so before, they're always switching release dates around. Before the final release date,
Yeah.
Doomsday was supposed to come out first, and then Brand New Day would come out later.
Yes.
So I think because they've switched things around, that will affect the story somehow. And whether they're going to be taking place at the same time or if events in this movie will lead to Doomsday, I guess we'll find out.
Okay. Uh, just to uh, close my point of view, I was really happy when they said they had announced that Secret Invasion would be a TV series rather than a movie.
Mm.
However,
Yeah.
I was tremendously disappointed that they took out everything.
All of us.
Yeah, that made that crossover one of the best crossovers of all time in Marvel Comics history. In fact, in comic book history.
Yeah.
It was the most
Yeah.
suspenseful, it was the most intriguing, it was the most thrilling crossover event I had ever read. And I am somebody who whose first crossover event was
Secret Wars.
Secret Wars and Mutant Massacre for X-Men. I still have the comics with me, the original
Nice.
print editions of the Mutant Massacre. But Secret Invasion, they did it so beautifully. The way they built the story for more than a year, 2 3 years, and next thing you know, when they adapted that, it turned out to be the worst dragging experience I ever had in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't as bad as what Taika Waititi did with Thor, but I will never ever put Secret Invasion in any positive territory whatsoever.
You know what's sad about that is
What
that
is
they were building towards something that should have been something great. The end of it, which didn't turn out to be something great, the Super Scroll. And the
Yes.
sad thing is that we may never see a Super Scroll now because it's attached to that project, the live action series.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And
Yeah.
then there's
Yeah.
this thing happening where there are some characters that will remain restricted to the TV side of things, and there are some characters that will be restricted to the movie side of things. I mean,
Yep.
this does not go in the spirit of Marvel. Okay, I do
Yep.
understand there is a lot of money involved, there is a lot of logistics involved, there is a lot of scheduling involved, but I don't know. So yeah, I mean, like for me, when this movie comes out, the acid test, as they say in management, will be that were they able to tell the story? And I'm really glad, Super M, you mentioned one thing about No Way Home. You said the writing was not that good.
Yeah.
So
Anyone can
basically,
figure that out after the 2 years or 3 years.
so
You will be
basically,
shocked.
no, I tend to agree, because you felt in the movie. I love the movie. No Way Home is one of my favorites, but it was like you could feel that there was a lot of patchwork involved in that, rather than a very seamless interwoven storytelling. Captain America Winter Soldier, in my opinion, is the best example where they finished a movie in 2 hours time and they told the best story ever.
The Russo brothers.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I think that's the major difference. You know,
Directors.
that's the major difference. Yeah,
Mm.
that's why I'm asking. I am in the same side of the way you're both thinking. I think it could work, and not just because there is a 2 hours or 2 and a half, because it all relates to the character. Okay, it all goes back to the character. The
True.
character of Superman, for example, could
Mhm.
work with a lot of characters in the same movie. And I don't need to prove that. Everyone already saw it in Superman.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man, I think, is more team player. Not that Superman is bad, but Spider-Man is, he's a teenager. He look up to them. He wants to meet every single one of them, and he gets excited, and he have a passion about saving the world. So I think you could make him work with anyone. You know,
No doubt.
uh, we
No doubt.
always saw that in the animations, in the movies, in the comics. I asked you because I know from comics perspective, you know, you definitely realize that.
I
You
think
are sure that Spider-Man could work with anyone.
Super M,
Yeah.
you took me back to the 1980s Saudi Arabia,
The Super
because
Friends.
Yeah.
not the Super
Mhm.
Friends, because what the point that Super M has made about Spider-Man,
Mhm.
it's just amazing that the same feeling resonates with the younger fans.
Mhm.
I'm talking about the 1981 Spider-Man series that was broadcasted on Saudi Channel 2.
Yeah.
And
Oh, Spider-Man has amazing friends.
there was a standalone Spider-Man, and then there was
Yep.
Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
Yep.
So just like in the United States, they had Saturday morning cartoons. In
Yep.
those days, we used to have Thursday morning cartoons because weekend was Thursday and Friday, Khamis wa Juma.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
now in the standalone series, what SuperM is alluding to, the same thing was seen there, especially in the Captain America episode where Spider-Man actually looks up to Captain America and then he goes to save him from the Red Skull and all that. And mind you, in my school at least, everyone went crazy over that episode for years and years to come.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
it's amazing that it resonates. The same thing about Spider-Man resonates with younger fans to this day. Not a single thing has changed. And I agree with him when he says that Spider-Man is a team player, and because of being a younger superhero, he looks up to the senior contemporaries of his, uh, who can basically inspire him, who can basically, give him a shoulder, uh, as to cry on at least. So
But do you think, I got a
yeah,
question for you. Do you think there's going to be a mentor figure in this movie? Because I don't know if Punisher fits that bill. Uh, because again, they work very different ways. Spider-Man will always try and help someone. Even the villains in No Way Home, he tried to help them, even though they killed Aunt May.
yeah.
Um, but Punisher isn't about that. And Hulk, if we're going to get Savage Hulk, then that's probably not going to be the case for Hulk as well. Do you think, because in previous Spider-Man movies we had Iron Man be the mentor figure, we had Doctor Strange be the mentor figure, so and we had Mysterio for a while in Far From Home. So do you think he will have a mentor figure in this movie?
Super M, do you think that he will have a mentor figure?
um, I actually
I'm
hope
with
not.
you. I'm with you. I feel like he's had enough mentors.
But let me tell you something. Yes, we
Yeah,
already have enough mentors. But let me
yeah,
tell you something.
Yeah,
You could write it neatly. Okay, you could write it in a good way. How so?
right.
In the comics, when you have a series of, let me say,
yeah,
12 issues, and Spider-Man series, for example, and
Right.
you see Captain America, like Son of Jida said, pops up in the, let me say, the third issue. Okay, so in the third issue, you will find Captain America give Spider-Man truthful meaning about life, about what heroism is all about, what about how to save people, how to deal with them, how to accept yourself, and just he leaves. You know, he does his part and he leaves, and that's how they should build the mentors. Not just like they did with the examples you said, like Iron
yeah,
Man and. Doctor Strange, where where Spider-Man is all the Spider-Man wants is just to be like them,
yeah,
is to be them. He wanted
yeah,
to be Iron Man. He didn't want to be Spider-Man.
yeah.
Right.
So,
Right.
so, so it's about time he starts doing his own thing, right? Away from having mentors, and hence the name of the movie, I guess, brand new day. Unless there's another hidden meaning to the title.
Yeah, he already have the
Yeah,
reason. Aunt May
yeah,
sacrificed herself.
I'll Before we move on to the next topic, I'll just say one thing to what was being said by you, son of Sparda.
mm.
Everybody shouldn't be worried. Punisher is not going to be his mentor.
I highly doubt it. I feel like they have very different methods. Punisher is about punishing people with violence, with guns and other means. So, Spider-Man, to the end of his last breath, he will try and help people, even the people who have hurt him.
And we
Yeah,
agree. And just do you straight shooting question?
Yeah.
Uh, Super M, do you think Brand New Day is going to be a hit?
financially or as a good movie.
Both, both.
Financially, I don't think anyone will doubt that. But as a good movie, I think I have a good feeling about that movie.
Son of Sparda.
I hope so.
I think every one of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies have been a hit, and they've been. I think each one has surpassed the last in terms of box office revenues, in terms of hype. So I think they are on the right track. I don't think they would uh, pitch this movie to boards and have Tom Holland come back for, well, it's not just his fourth movie. I can't remember how many appearances he's been across other movies, Avengers movies and whatnot. So they are in this for the long run. They are investing in this kid to be their Spider-Man for a very long time.
Okay, now we've talked a great deal about the Punisher and Spider-Man. Now, next month we are going to be getting Daredevil Born Again season 2.
Oh, finally.
It's your time. It's your time. So, what are your expectations considering the fact that we saw him wearing the Shadowland costume?
Or Super
SuperM, yeah.
I will not go first this one.
Okay.
Not this time. You should go first.
Son of Sparda.
You should go first.
Man,
Okay, son of Sparda.
this series is what launched the Netflix Marvel universe for a very long time. And we had never had anything like this before then, right? So we had some very successful shows that came afterwards, some controversial shows. Um, and then they all came together at some point. Man, this series has surpassed my expectations, and there was some concern when all these shows left Netflix for rights reasons, and then Disney Plus said we're going to start producing the shows.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still hold the Netflix series very dear to my heart, but I still place this one as a close second. It's still very good. But I love everything they've done. They've even carried some things over. If you notice, they've left some very small hints. Kingpin still has that painting that signifies, it reminds him of his dad that used to beat him up. And the very last episode of the Netflix series, during the fight between Daredevil and Kingpin, he gets his blood splattered on that painting. They still had that same painting in Born Again with the blood splatter all over it. So
Yes.
it's clear that Kingpin is still holding a grudge against Daredevil. And he warns Matt Murdock not to put on the mask. They already know each other's identities and everything. They're fully truthful with each other, and they sort of tell each other, "You don't become Pingway again, and I would have to put on the mask again." And these are two people who are creatures of habit. So Kingpin has indeed gone back into his ways, and he has become the mayor of New York.
Yeah.
And Matt had to put on the mask again, so here we are. And we're gonna get the new suit, the black suit with the symbol on it. Jessica Jones is coming back, and there are rumors, if not this season, possibly next season, we might get Luke Cage and Iron Fist back. So I'm very excited to see how this concludes. There's even rumors, just rumors, that they might conclude this story in the next, because Kingpin has been villains for other heroes. So they're saying maybe the next Spider-Man movie is where Kingpin will be the main villain, and Daredevil and Spider-Man will team up to take him down.
Oh boy, that's that's going to be one
That's a dream.
Because Kingpin has referenced Spider-Man, right? He said, "We don't want vigilantes in our city. No one wearing a spider suit." That was clearly meant for Spider-Man, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
SuperM.
Okay. I think I'm with you on the same page for this show. I think we are. If we say good things about this show, we are doing a hot take. Because everyone back then was going to attack this show. No, it's not the same. I like the Netflix version better. I also love the Netflix version. It's something close to your heart. You know, you lived with that show.
Yes.
It paved the way. It started the Daredevil era. You know, in
Yes.
the TV shows. Uh, the introduction alone is something else. It's something you will hold
Absolutely.
forever. Okay. Yeah. So I like the new one because I think it's a more appropriate approach of the
Yeah.
character, more appropriate approach of the story, you know, for the modern audience, for the specifically the MCU
Yeah.
audience, to
Yes.
make the show fits right in the cinematic universe. So that's why I understand. I understand also that the first season had a massive issue, which was that they had an original team to work on, and then they changed the team to a second team. You know, second team cut half of the episodes and added 3 episodes, which was I think the best episodes 1, 8, and 9. And I think what what excites me about the second season that they are the same directors that coming back that those directed the 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. I would love to see Kingpin again. I saw the trailer. I saw a great action scenes. I think we have been waiting for a long time for a great sequence, action sequence from Daredevil. You know, the first one that the Netflix one had an stunning, crazy
Yes.
action sequences. So we are waiting. We're waiting for that to come back. You know.
Yeah.
I'll just say one thing here, that uh, since both of you mentioned and you commended what Netflix had done, and when it came to the adaptation of these characters, for the audience, in case they are not aware of, Saudi Arabia has hosted the executive producer of Marvel Netflix series twice during the Red Sea International Film Festival in Jeddah. And both of the times I had the honor to meet him. His name is Kareem Zarek. So
Okay.
it's my mission to be able to get the opportunity to sit down with him and ask him and understand what was the process that he and his team had put in place, that they gave us something uh, so much awesomeness, that won critical acclaim, but also at the same time it was deeply rooted within the comic book genre.
Yeah.
So when it comes to what Disney Plus has done, they did a good job. However, Disney being Disney, I did not like the episode 5 where Matt Murdock had a brief encounter with Kamala Khan's dad in the bank. That for me
I
was,
disagree with you. I think Son of Sparta. I think Son of Sparta disagree
I
too.
just
Why?
dropped my jaw somewhere.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
Can we ask why?
Okay.
Okay, before I let you guys share your point of view, I'll explain why. There is supposed to be a synergy between various superheroes.
Yeah.
So there is a synergy between Spider-Man, the Punisher, and Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, because these are street level heroes. Then there is a synergy between Spider-Man with, you know, heroes like the Avengers and the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
That mostly comes from the superpower or the powers angle. Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, to this day, the only reason I believe she was created was just to make a point that we have a Muslim character in the Marvel universe. I don't. I personally don't. I hope nobody takes it the wrong way. I personally, I'm not looking for a Muslim character. I'm not looking for any ethnic character. I'm looking for a superhero that gives me the stories that I enjoy reading. That's why I'm a fan of Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Luke Cage, Black Panther, um, Wonder Woman, Spider Woman. I don't see them in terms of their identity. I see them in terms of the value they bring to the table. So this is my thing. And it was like, uh, a weird arranged marriage kind of a thing where they are trying to basically force Daredevil and the angle of Miss Marvel together. If you really want to do that, keep Miss Marvel with Captain Marvel, with Inhumans, with the Avengers. I'm all for it. Now they made her a mutant all of a sudden. So uh, I don't, I mean, I just don't see an um, organic relationship being built in that area. Now, Super M, you disagree with me. Please share your disagreement.
Okay, before we go about the episode,
Yeah,
I want to say something about the ethnic characters. Okay, I'm not a
sure.
Christian myself, but I really, really, really love and respect how they beautifully write Daredevil, as an example.
Right.
They don't. I think mostly they're not aiming to promote or to enforce anything, any religion or religion aspects. They just show you how the character you love is devoted to something he loves, something he believes in. I think, in whatever religion you believe in, you will feel the same as him. Even if you don't believe in anything, you will respect what he does. So I don't like the episode because of her. Okay, I like the interaction between the father and Matt Murdock. Okay,
Right.
but I think the most episode I loved from the first season was this episode, because I have an opinion. I think you guys might agree with this one. I don't think it's a common opinion, but I really love the character itself. I really love the person himself. I love Peter Parker. I love Spider Man. I love the costume, the superhero things that comes with it. I love the Iron Man suits and the weapons, and you know what? But when you come back to think about the original core of the character, okay,
Yes.
that's one of the main things that not every writer can write good. Not every writer can look at it the same way we do. You know,
Right.
that's why I love that episode, because it was pure Matt Murdock. You saw Matt Murdock in a struggle. You saw Matt Murdock being a hero without a mask. He didn't need a mask at all. Okay, he didn't need to have superpower to save the people like he did. Maybe it helped him with some tricks. With the bank door when he
Yeah.
used his hearing, and yeah, but generally somehow he could have done the same thing without any special powers, and that's why I love about it.
You made a very important point, son of Sparda. Your take.
I wanted to add to what Super M said because this episode particularly to me, it is the episode where he's trying so hard to be a hero, like Super M said, without putting on the mask. And I think this is the episode where he decides, no, people need me. By the end of it, he decides I have to put on the mask and go after the robber. And that's where we have a very brief but very intense fight scene where he breaks the robber's leg. He does a flip and breaks it. Where he was a little rusty. I think the robber got a few punches, lucky punches. So to me, that was the most exciting thing, is that he was trying very hard to think on his feet, to not put on the mask, to put on an act that he is a helpless blind man. And ultimately, he was able to outsmart all these people in the bank. And there was that little connection with Kamala Khan's father. But I mean, I didn't mind it so much. It was in place. He said he was a banker. So, I didn't mind it too much. And at some point, I feel like maybe uh, uh, I should go back and check, because as far as I could tell, I was told, or at least from what I heard, her first issue was very well received. So, I mean, I don't know if it was particularly about representation, even though representation is never particularly a bad thing, right? It's nice to have some representation. But her as a character, I think she's someone who looks up to the Avengers, and they only give a hint that she might be immune, right? Towards the end of the last episode, they give us that classic X-Men 90s series theme. And whether she turns out to be an X-Men, or like in the comics, they say she's an Inhuman, we'll find out, I guess, moving forward.
Okay, I'll try to simplify what both of you have said, which will basically help you understand my side of the story. Imagine I have been invited to a feast, okay, where I'm being served with hanid or lahammandi or madbi, for example.
Yum.
And what
Yum.
and what happens is that the host, instead of using salt, he or she puts in sugar.
Ah, a bastard.
You're gonna get me into trouble for this. You're gonna get me into trouble for this from YouTube. So
He's
for
in
me,
character.
yeah, for me, uh, Kamala's dad in that episode, the involvement of Kamala's dad in that episode, and that interaction is the sugar that's been sprinkled all over the mandi, hanid, or madbi, whichever you might want to call it.
Right.
Because you need to understand one thing, that just like every successful business is not about, you need to have loads of money or something like that. What is
Yeah.
the problem that you're trying to solve?
Mhm.
Spider-Man was created to talk about the problem that the nerd kids faced in daily lives.
Yeah.
They would be bullied at school.
Yeah.
Nobody respected them and all that.
Yeah.
Captain America, again, because he was a scrawny little kid, he was an Irish American. In those days, discrimination against the Irish was. Luke Cage, the black exploitation era, when you saw city crime going up. This is the same time Luke Cage actually was inspired pretty much by John Shaft from the MGM live action project, and it was basically addressing the evils of city life which were affecting the African American community. So Luke Cage became a solution for that.
Right.
I'm still struggling to find the problem that Kamala Khan is trying to solve as a character. So,
Well, I think maybe I'll just very briefly say, I think she's, and if you look at the most recent Spider-Man cartoon, there were, I think, one or two episodes where he teams up with Kamala Khan, and I think she's the other side of having a young hero who's trying to find her place in the world. She's like Peter, but at a very young age, or at least in some versions of the comic, she's depicted as a very young person who has joined the Avengers or joined another group. So yeah, they've put her in the spotlight many times over different mediums.
SuperM.
As you said, I remember in the Avengers game, I had a flashback in the first couple of scenes.
She's in there.
Game.
Yeah.
Yeah. and she was doing the same thing. She was just having the she just wants to get in the Avengers, you know. Maybe you wouldn't find a deeper meaning for that, but I think what helped me with Daredevil, Born Again, is that I avoided Kamala Khan, you could say. You know, I haven't even seen her series, the Miss Marvel.
Alhamdulillah.
I loved the Trinity. I love the Trinity actually. I love the between Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and what was the other girl name? Captain Rambo
Monica
or something
Rambo.
like that.
Monica Rambo, Photon.
Monica Rambo. Yeah. I think it suits her better to be with them more than Daredevil, for an
Agreed.
example. You know.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate because she's a young female superhero. Somehow she would deserve to have a chance to have stories and to have runs with a more likable or a more not different characters, you know, to have a chance to run along with the two of them. So yeah.
Can I add something about Daredevil?
Please.
So I don't have it with
Yes.
me, but maybe if some of our viewers remember, I should have prepared and brought it with me. But I have a picture. I've had the pleasure of meeting Charlie Cox once before, and John Bernthal. I have a picture with him. But also, and because we sometimes talk about figurines, Hot Toys is producing a 1/6 scale version of the new red suit from Born Again with a Charlie Cox head sculpt. They've never done that before. So, yep. So I'm very excited about picking that up at some point.
We're looking forward to that. Okay, now we are just going to move to a topic which is not DC or Marvel,
Yep.
and then we'll come back to our favorite DC and Marvel. Masters of the Universe trailer.
Oh, yep.
So, Super M, how well do you connect with the character of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe?
I will shock you, but you have to clue me in because I haven't watched anything related to them. So I'm really excited.
I just want to, SuperM, I want to recommend something to yourself and maybe some of our other viewers who are not familiar with He-Man. There is a Netflix series produced by and directed by Kevin Smith. It's only 2 seasons long, but it's a continuation of the original 80s He-Man series. So, if you're not familiar with it at all, it's a nice point for you to just pick up right away, and it'll catch you up on everything in the past and stuff moving forward. And it's very beautifully animated.
Okay,
You got that.
Super M is not that much connected with Masters of the Universe. Son of Sparda, being an 80s kid, because He-Man was a big thing even in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
We were buying toys for He-Man, the
Yep.
VHS. Okay, so what was your take on the He-Man trailer? Sorry.
Man, they are touching all the feels with this trailer. So they released a teaser trailer the day before that had the classic He-Man cartoon, just a clip, and they said for a nice Saturday morning, watch He-Man trailer coming tomorrow, and that was that was all it took, 30 seconds for them to reawaken my 80s inner child. And the next day, the full trailer came out, and it had Idris Elba and Nicolas Galadzine, I believe his name is, and I can remember her last name, Camilla something as Tila, and
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 he will.
Idris Elba as Man at Arms. Uh, we got to see Jared Leto as Skeletor, so very exciting about that. Um, a few characters that are noticeably we didn't see. Hopefully, we'll see in a future trailer. Is and we did get to see her as a Falcon, the sorceress,
Sorceress.
played by Marina Baccarin, who is in Daredevil. I'm sorry, Deadpool, and
Deadpool.
and she was in Gotham, where she met her husband. Um, so I can't wait to see her. We haven't seen the character of Orko, so a
Yeah.
very popular character in the series. So, man, anyone who lived in the '80s who got to see this cartoon wherever you were in the world, very famous cartoon. It originally developed as a toy series, and for them to sell the toys, they made this cartoon as a way to sell the toys. And boy, did the toys sell because they kept making, I think, 3 or 4 reboots, ending with the last one on Netflix that we just talked about. So I'm very excited for this. I have a life-size replica of He-Man's power sword that I'm going to be getting at some point. It's on the way coming here. So
Amazing.
lots to look forward to with this movie. I hope a lot of people who are, if you were the least bit of fan, if you've ever heard of He-Man, go watch this movie. I promise it. And it's directed by Travis Knight, the same director who did Kubo and the Two Strings and the Bumblebee movie. So I'll just say, in a time where the Transformers movies were starting to lose their pizzazz, if you will,
Mhm.
this guy took up the Bumblebee movie and gave it life. It was incredibly well received, and I loved it. I feel like it was the first Transformers movie in a long time that had heart and soul. And if we can get some of that in this movie, then man, I'm all for it.
Okay, I'm not going to be discussing a bit more on this topic. Why? Because the our younger counterparts, people like SuperM and all, they need to watch this movie, check it out for themselves. Okay,
Yeah.
it is one of the best things that was ever produced in the 1980s, one of the most successful ones, alongside franchises like the Transformers, G1, GI Joe. You had the He-Man, you had the Thundercats, you had Silverhawks. The
Shira.
list goes, Shira, the list goes on and on. I'll just say one thing, that I am highly impressed with the casting. Seeing Alison Brie as Evelyn made my day. And even though I've watched the Dolph Lundgren movie, Masters of the Universe, which was released in the 1980s, and I loved it, this movie is going to pull a lot of guys like us who were in Saudi Arabia, who were collecting He-Man VHS, who were buying He-Man action figures from the malls and whichever outlets that were there. Now, let's come back to our world of DC and Marvel. A lot of absent trailers that we have. I mean, we're already midway February. We still haven't seen a proper teaser of Spider-Man Brand New Day. We haven't seen any teaser or a trailer for X-Men 97, for My Adventures with Superman, uh, and my Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Why are What are they waiting for actually? I mean, like, when are we going to be seeing things happening in this regard? Super M.
Firstly, I'm sorry to disappoint about the Masters of the Universe, but don't worry. I will push your agenda. I will watch it, and I will recommend it to the younger viewers. I will do the press tour myself, but I'm very
God bless
excited to see it actually.
God bless
Yeah,
you, man.
and
God
I will
bless
tell you, inshallah, what I think about it.
you. Awesome.
Um, for the Spider-Man movie, I think we already saw the trailer. You know, I don't know if you guys have seen the leaked trailer.
I
Okay,
didn't. I
so I
didn't.
think most
I
you
didn't.
didn't know about it,
No,
or you
no, I
didn't have the
didn't
chance to
watch
see
it
it.
deliberately. I didn't watch it deliberately. I didn't watch it deliberately.
Oh, the brand new day leak trailer. Is that what we're?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't watch it. Yes. It, in fact, before we started our live stream, I came across a post on X where someone had shared screenshots from the movie. Okay, for various different characters,
Yeah.
the villains and Punisher and all that. I immediately went past by it because I don't want to get myself involved into something which is not 100% certain. Why? Because we are living in the age of AI. a lot of fakes are coming around.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's
yeah.
why.
I, I thought the same thing. When I first saw it, I think there might be a little of AI here and there.
Yeah,
How to see the characters move, how they pose. You can clearly differentiate if it's AI. But I think for the modern movies, they are adapting a new approach of marketing their projects. I remember when Superman came out, they didn't promote for the movie from uh, for a long time. I think it
right.
was only 4 months. Yeah. We also this year we have GTA 6, the biggest game of all time, and
Yes.
you don't see them promote from early. I
Yeah.
think the modern approach is all about social media. You could just do a TikTok clip or a YouTube clip, Instagram reel, and it will go viral. It will help you with the movie press without spending much money, without doing it and enhance. I hope to
Understood.
see
Understood.
all of those trailers. Yeah,
Continue, continue. No, 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 because I understand where you're coming from.
yeah. So I'm very interested to have a couple of months of trailers. You know, but I think we have a heavy year. So in March we have Daredevil, we have
Inshallah.
Invincible, we have The Boys,
Yes.
we have a Barbenheimer between Supergirl and Spider-Man. So I think those companies are afraid to compete with each other. So they are carefully thinking about how to promote their projects. I remember when Superman and Fantastic Four came out. It was a great rivalry in the marketing.
Yeah.
I think we are the winners in that situation.
Oh, yes.
So I think they will not. Yes, I think they will not take much time, but they will wait for each other's. Every company will wait for the other company to post it first to see their reaction. Superman posted its first teaser before Fantastic Four, and they got a backlash, got a heat respawn. So
Yeah.
they are trying to doing it more cleverly. You know.
More cleverly. Understood. Understood. Son of Sparda, what do you have to say?
So we just had the Super Bowl in America, and it's one of the biggest events nationwide in the US. And usually every year, Marvel and DC release their biggest trailers around the Super Bowl. There was zero presence from Marvel at this event.
True.
And probably the reason for that could and we had an extended trailer for Supergirl where we saw Crypto and that was it. Nothing about the story, nothing extended about the details of what's going on in this movie. But probably one of the reasons for that, if not the main reason, is that a 30-second clip on the Super Bowl cost between $8 to $10 million.
Yes.
So that is maybe for some movies the entire advertising budget. So they skipped on that, Disney, for they have an animated movie come out that they advertised in the Super Bowl, and they had uh, The Mandalorian and Grogu, a Star Wars movie. So no Marvel presence at all, and that tells me that maybe they're saving their brand new day trailer for another event or something, but this is highly unlikely for them to skip the Super Bowl. Um, there have been heavy rumors that we might see a brand new day any day now. So we're just waiting by YouTube and waiting to see if there are any other events coming up. So hopefully sometime soon we'll see that. Um, since we haven't talked about DC for a while, my adventures with Superman. This is a show that, from the title, you think, oh, it's going to be about either Jimmy or Lois, and maybe we'll get Superman every once in a while saving them. No, this was about the trio. Clark, Jimmy, and Lois together going on adventures, and it was so heartful and so nice to watch a show like that. Last year, I believe they had their second season. I think, if not, maybe a bit more. And we've been told that the third season is coming this year. So hopefully we get some news sometime soon. But I was very delightful with it. Another show, My Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Again, we weren't expecting it to be the way it was. We got a little bit of Venom, which has been absent from the MCU. Again, we had Venom in the Sonyverse. So, and we had Doctor Strange. We had Tombstone, a villain who was in the games but hasn't had much presence in live action or cartoons recently.
Right.
So they made a huge connection between the character of Tombstone and Peter, and I guess we'll see how that develops moving into season 2, and possibly the symbiote moving again into the new season. X-Men 97, man, that show. Some people have asked me, do I need to watch all the previous seasons of the 90s X-Men? I think there have been 5.
Yeah.
And I think this show does a very good job of catching you up on the last few events that happened in the classic show, and then just jumping you right in to here's where we are, and just keep going. And it shocked the hell out of us. I think Magneto has been the MVP of this series, and it's been wonderful watching it. And I can't wait to see what they have in store for what's the name of the big villain that they meet in the end of season 1?
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, yes. I blanked there for a second. So I guess we're going to be getting an origin story for Apocalypse in season 2.
Yes.
So that's going to be very exciting. Possibly a return of Gambit.
Okay, you were smiling when Son of Sparda said Magneto was the MVP, SuperM. So, care to elaborate why you were smiling on that part?
The show was so great that it didn't have only one MVP. Okay, Magneto was a great MVP, but not the only one. When he said Magneto, I felt the joy. But you could ask different 10 people, and each one of them will tell you a different answer.
True.
One might say Wolverine.
I'll be right back.
Might say
sure.
Yeah. The one might say any of the characters. Yeah. So I love the first season. I'm not very.
All right, I'm back. You were saying.
He's going to pull my iPad.
That's a good one. SuperM, sorry, we caught you off guard. Please finish your point.
I think that's what I was going to say about X-Men 97, because as you both said, it rhymes with the new audience. You don't need to be aware of every event that happened in the original one. Okay, I haven't seen all the episodes from the original one.
Right.
I think I saw the first season, and the rest was a recap.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got to the new series, I felt that you don't need to be included in. It's already clear. And maybe the other show that I'm very, very, very waiting for is my adventures with Superman. I think, and I don't know if you realize that or not, or if you agree or not, But the first season, I haven't seen the second season actually, but the first season, I think it was the key that James Gunn needed. The the show that paved the way for the new Superman. Okay, for the new approach, for the new, yes, yes, to present a Superman, a hopeful Superman, a fun Superman. You know, the one that you will see smile all the time. Okay,
More
one
relatable.
that you will more more relatable. You know, it's not about being a god or being a strong being or being something super. It's all about being a man. You know, about being a human, and to give that aspect of uh, presenting Clark as the main character, I think it's something we needed for a long time.
I am quite happy with what both of you have shared, because both of you made some really interesting points, especially concerning the budget, but also at the same time, it's more to do with the marketing side of things, whereby they don't want to give their competition the edge, because we are now in the phase where there is intense competition between both DC and Marvel. So if they want to pull the crowd to the theaters for their features, the last thing they want to do is just start giving away hints about their upcoming movie. And somebody pointed it out. I was going through a post maybe, or some article or something, that they did the same thing for Spider-Man No Way Home, because they wanted to keep the Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire thing so secret, that they eventually released the trailer only 3 months before the release date, or maybe less,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home. So some very salient points, and the MVP debate. I really like that. Uh, Son of Sparda, what an amazing helmet you have for Magneto. Now let's just
It's just so that Charles doesn't read my mind.
okay. Now we move on to this guy.
Yeah. What are you showing?
Okay,
Because
Doctor Doom. Doctor
oh,
Doom.
should I switch again?
It's gonna take time, man.
Hang on.
So okay,
He has to do it.
man, because he has one heck of a collection. Mashallah, mashallah, tabarakallah.
I
One
liked the
heck of a
Daredevil
collection.
one.
Oh yes.
It's so great. You know, I think
You
it's better than the one that Matt Murdock had in the first season of Netflix.
yeah, good point. Good point. Now let's see how much do you like this other helmet that he is coming up with.
It's a hoodie.
It's a partial hoodie, but the helmet is amazing. This is the Marvel
The
Legends
mask
Doctor
is
Doom
great.
helmet. Okay,
Kneel
so
before Doom.
now for Doctor Doom,
Yeah.
where are we at, guys? Because we still are in a lot of suspense. We have seen uh, the time travel, the timeline bit that was initiated in Avengers Endgame, and then it was further explored in Loki's series. Okay, and then we saw a glimpse of Doctor Doom in the end credit for Fantastic Four First Steps.
Yeah.
Super M, who do you think? Who do you think is Doctor Doom in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Is it Tony Stark from another dimension? Is it Victor Von Doom, who has stolen the body of Tony Stark and transferred his mind into it, much like Superior Spider Man thing where Dr. Octopus had done with Peter Parker? Because a lot of fan theories are there, but none of them is sticking. and they are going to be releasing Avengers
Yeah,
Endgame 3 months or 2 months before Doomsday. Share your pearls of wisdom with
I
us.
think it's going. I think it's going to be. It's not. It's not going to be Tony Stark. If you
Mhm.
remember the announcements when they announced that RDJ is going to be Doctor Doom,
Mhm.
they said it's going to be Van Doom. It's not going to be Tony Stark, you know. But I think the theories are interesting. But that's the problem with the comic book movies. Okay, people have all sorts of theories from the comics book, and then when you go to the movies, you will be shocked with the most basic save and sound story they could possibly present. But I don't think that. Oh, I think that the Russo brothers are smart enough to avoid that battle with the audience to present Tony Stark. I think they would use the card, which might be to many fans a cheap card,
Mhm.
to use the shock on the faces of the Avengers when they meet Doom and they realize, oh, it's Tony Stark, but it's not Tony Stark. It's just the same face, you know.
The face is the
I
same,
think
but the
they're
soul is
going.
different.
Yeah, I think they're going to use RDJ's face as much as possible. I think when Franklin in the credit of Fantastic Four, I think he healed his face, you know, because you can't bring a name, a bigger name than that, and you just don't use his facial expressions, and even for the box office,
Right.
it's a dangerous gambit to not use. So I want to hear what you guys think.
Well, before we share our opinion, I have a question for both you and Son of Sparda. Have you guys read the comic uh, Demon in the Armor, which was published as a what if comic in 2010? So
I can't say anything.
you haven't, Son of Sparda?
No, but it sounds intriguing. If you can give us a summary of it.
Okay, I'll give you guys the summary, but Super M, are you aware of this story?
Is it the one where there was an interaction between Iron Man and Doctor Doom?
There have been many interactions between Iron Man and Doctor Doom. So you have to be a bit specific. Why? Because the first great story which explored their relationship was Doom Quest, which was done, I believe, in the 1980s, if I'm not mistaken. And
Are all of those what ifs?
uh,
Because I have in mind what if story between the two of them.
okay, you have in mind a what if story. I think you will be able to relate with this one. Let me share it here on the screen.
Okay. Because that one, the what if story, I haven't read it, but I wrote a reel about it in MDC back 2 years ago.
Mhm. So can
So I
both of
read
you
about it, but I didn't.
see this cover
Yeah,
over here?
yeah.
Yeah.
Demon
Okay.
in Armor.
Yeah. So this
Oh,
this
nice.
this is the issue where it was explored that how would they would be able to transfer their mind into each other's bodies. I don't
Mm.
want to give too much away. I don't want to summarize the story because it may, spoil the excitement that comes in. But basically, it's like, Reed Richards and Dr. Doom are studying in the same university. In this story, it's not Reed Richards and Dr. Doom, it's Tony Stark and Dr. Doom studying in the same
Mm.
university. So this is where basically what we saw or what has been alluded to us by the Russo brothers, this is where it was explored.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Do
So
you think
thoughts on,
do you think they will count in that story?
if okay, honestly, I believe that the rationale about showing Tony Stark as Doctor Doom with the face, even if it's not, the rationale will come from this comic that I shared with you. That's what I might be wrong.
Yeah.
So this is what it is. So unless because Cape Cast, you guys discuss comics, you guys discuss movies heavily. What are your theories on this part of about Doctor Doom, Super M?
I think all sorts of theories have been discussed.
Hmm.
Because 4 members, each one read here and there, so everyone comes up with a theory. I think they have different theories. I can't remember what each one of them said, but I think there was a theory that came up a couple of times that it's going to be Iron Man. It's
It's
going to
going
be
to
Iron
be
Man, and that's going to be Tony Stark from another dimension. I
yeah,
heard one also about Kang playing with time, that they will mention
right,
that. Maybe they will not show Kang himself.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just Super
So I
M,
don't know how that plays out, but
yeah, Super
yeah,
M,
yeah.
if you can just move a little bit, you're going out of the frame. So if you can just move
Like that.
on your left, yeah, this is good. This is good. That's enough. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
طيب. Now, which brings us to Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby
Oh,
is the
hang on.
co-creator. Yeah, sorry, son of Sparda. I forgot to take your
You,
point. Please go ahead. Yeah,
oh,
sorry.
oh, you're fine. I just had some personal theories
Please.
about Dr. Doom. So, on one hand, I think we're very curious to find out why he's very interested in Franklin Richard.
Yes.
Is it the same reason why Galactus was interested in Franklin? Because I guess to some extent he has some powers that we don't fully understand yet. Um, and I think the only thing that hinted towards that was Galactus saying, "You will fulfill my hunger." So I guess we'll find out what that means. Another theory I have is, the only reason that Tony uh, opted to help the Avengers in Endgame was because he looked at a frame and he looked at a picture of him and Peter, and it sort of reminded him of him being a father figure. So, what if he didn't have anyone to be a father figure for? What if he didn't marry Pepper and have a child? I think this is one of those cases where we'll see maybe a variant of Tony or a variant of Victor Von Doom, who did not have love in his life, did not have a Spider-Man slash Peter, or didn't have Pepper and didn't have a family, and decided to go the other route. Same mission, because that's what RDJ said on stage at Comic Con. He said, same task, different mask.
But it still leaves
Mm.
us with huge possibilities, even if we say
Yeah,
that, okay, this is going to be a variant of Tony Stark or the variant of Doctor Doom.
yeah,
I like the way they are maintaining the suspense behind it.
yeah, yeah.
And let's see what happens. Super M,
Yeah.
you have something to share in this regard?
No, but I thought you might come across the news that they are going to split the two movies, the one movie, Secret Wars. So
Yes.
I thought that may be help in understanding how they are going to present Doctor Doom. I thought maybe if they are going to adapt an interesting theory, they will present the first movie, Doomsday, and focus on how to present that theory, most of the film, and in the second two films, they will focus on presenting the other heroes. So, what do you think about that?
I'm I am, how should I say, confused, because it's like I am a huge fan of Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is my favorite all-time supervillain, even bigger than Darkseid, Joker. Okay, Doctor Doom is like my A-list villain. The thing is that this big how are they trying to introduce him into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And I'm glad you mentioned this part where they are thinking of dividing Secret Wars into two parts rather than having a standalone movie, which makes perfect sense because Secret Wars is not a story that can be completely shown in a 2 hour or maximum 3 hours or even 4 hour movie. You need,
Especially without previous building.
yes, exactly. So that is the part that I, but like, how is this Doctor Doom going to make his entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Because what Son of Sparda said, I mean, like, even though he tried to simplify it for all of us, and even though one of our viewers, Lads and 777, he has endorsed Son of Sparda's theory, with what we learned from Loki, with all the timeline and the branches and everything, I mean, you're talking about a lot of possibilities. How do you pinpoint which timeline is going to be uh, getting like getting the Doom involved in the mainstream cinematic universe? And I'm glad the viewer has asked, Ladson has asked a very good question. How is Marvel going to handle the Kang plot? That's another thing.
I
Yeah.
mean, they kind of botched the character, even though Kang is a great character in the comics, but not fully realized yet in movie form. And I'm not sure with all the back behind the scenes drama that's going on in Jonathan Major's life, if he'll ever come back. Just because, for one thing, he has drama going on, and he had courts and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and Marvel doesn't want to complicate their image with all that. But for another thing, one of Kang's many appearances in the past few projects was one of them was in Ant-Man, where Ant-Man with a bunch of ants defeated Kang.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they didn't represent him as a major threat yet. So if he does come back, I hope they make him more threatening through, I guess, one of his variants.
Super M.
I think I disagree with you on this one. Not fully, but partly. Let me say, partly. I don't think they presented him bad, but I don't think they presented him with the communication between the filmmakers. I think every project used Kang in its own way. I think I loved how they presented him in Loki. Okay,
Right.
how they give him the importance, the fear, the how do you see the TVA employees, how they are terrified of Kang.
Kang.
Okay,
Yes.
how he can impact the whole universes.
Right.
But in the Ant-Man movie, it was a joke, actually. I think he wasn't that bad in the whole movie, but his ending and how they avoided to give him appropriate ending was a shame.
True.
Was something that, I don't know, disrespectful, I could say, to the
Yeah.
character, to the comics, to the fans, to everyone, to the actor himself. I think he performed the character in as an actor, and as an artist. He presented it well, and he was perfect for the role. But as Son of Sparta mentioned, it's hard to get him back. They already have a damaged reputation, so They
Also,
can't
we should
gamble
mention,
with that anymore.
just to add, before it was called Doomsday, this was originally supposed to be called Avengers Kang Dynasty.
Yes, it was supposed to be called Kang
Yes.
Dynasty, and Doom would overthrow Kang as he always does in various different storylines. Uh, so for me, Ant-Man movies have been nothing but a joke. I really appreciate Michael Douglas being Hank Pym, but that's the only good part, and having Michelle Pfeiffer as Janet Van Dyne. But other than that, Paul Rudd is my favorite actor. But I mean, whoever, uh, it's like I think I agree wholly with Super M that they made him a joke, and there was no coordination between the writers and the directors for Loki and for Ant-Man movies. Otherwise, Kang would have been done justice. I mean, I still remember the final episode where he is introduced as He Who Remains, or He
Yeah.
Who Remains.
Yeah.
uh, okay, and the way he is interacting with Sylvie and Loki, and the way he's talking about the universe being multiple layers and all that. I mean, it's just amazing things to ponder. The richness of Kang in terms of concept is quite a lot. But let bygones be bygones. Marvel doesn't want to be part of Jonathan Majors controversy, and that ship has sailed. Our final topic of discussion is our tribute to Jack Kirby. He is the co-creator of Doctor Doom. He and Stan Lee created this one amazing villain who, in my opinion, is the greatest of all time. So Super M, being a young representative of superhero fandom, what are your thoughts on Jack Kirby and his legacy?
Uh, you can't justify this man. You can't justify those artists. Their works stands through time. Stands still through times.
Yes,
Um, you don't have to live in his era or his time to realize how important his impact has been on our world. In this genre specifically, what he did, how he was a great part in creating characters, great characters like the Fantastic Four. Up until now in 2025, we went to the Fantastic Four movie, and
yes,
it was thanks to him, him and Stan Lee and all the others. So I think, and even if you remember when Vanessa Kirby, whenever a reporter asked her if she's related to him or something like that,
yes.
she gets so much happy. The joy in her face is undeniable, and who can blame? This man is everything a comic book reader needs. You know,
No doubt, no
such a
doubt,
true legend.
no doubt. Son of Sparda.
So yeah, man, there's no denying the print that Jack Kirby had on all of us through his characters of whether it's the X-Men, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four. He's created most of these characters, and we'll always remember him for that. I remember I got as you know, and some of our listeners may know, I got to meet Stan Lee before he passed. And while he was on stage, I think some people asked him about Jack Kirby, and he said, "Well, some people believe believe that the person who gives the essence of the character is the author, and some people believe the one who drew the character first is the creator." But I'm glad to see that they finally decided to give credit to both of these gentlemen who. They both had one person had the idea, the other person had the artistic skills to draw a bunch of these characters. So I'm glad that they ultimately decided to share credit. and I think it's documented through all the comics and movies since then that Kirby and Stan Lee have always had a hand in all these comics. So we, whether it's in media like comics or TV shows or movies, it's always felt, some of the directors or writers will always reference Jack Kirby in his creations of those first few pages back in the day.
We even saw him in the Fantastic Four movie.
Oh yeah,
Him and
Yes.
Stan Lee.
I'll end the tribute to Jack Kirby with my personal story that in 1994 I'm in Jeddah and we are planning our trip to the United States. What we are gonna do, how many comics we are gonna buy, because this trip was actually planned by my parents as a gift to me and my brother because they saw how crazy we were for American pop culture and superheroes and so forth.
yeah,
And before we would leave, before we would depart, I mean, I think we left for the US in June. I received a comic book which we had subscribed for and came across the news that Jack Kirby had passed away.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
his art was something that we grew up with, just like we grew up with John Romita's Spider-Man. His art we grew up with. When my first exposure to the Fantastic Four was the 1960s animated series that was done by Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah,
It felt like it was Jack Kirby, even though the art was completely different from what Jack Kirby had done. But we need to understand that this man is the reason why Marvel ended up having animated series, because his art was used for the initial Marvel Hero Hour, or I think Marvel Happy Hour, or something like that, which was in
yeah,
the 1960s. We would see Thor, we would see Hulk, we would see Captain America, all
yeah,
Jack Kirby's illustrations, and these animated series would be available on VHS in Saudi Arabia when we were
yeah,
growing up. And then what really made me emotional was the fact that when me and Son of Sparda, both of us were part of a big group, we were invited to the premiere of Fantastic Four First Steps. So
Yeah.
as soon as the movie ended, one of our friends, he said beautifully, he said this was Jack Kirby on film.
Yeah.
So the the more that can be said about Jack Kirby, his art, his imagination. Uh, a lot of us don't talk about his work for DC Comics, which he did, the Fourth World Saga and everything. The more is talked about him,
Dark Side.
Dark Side, exactly. I believe that it's never enough. Whether it's for him, whether it's for Stan, and I am personally like really grateful that, alhamdulillah, for all of us, in fact, that we have lived long enough to see the greatest supervillain ever created by Lee and Kirby. We are going to finally see him in live action. And
Yeah.
if Jack Kirby's family is watching this, I hope you do realize that your dad made a huge mark on the lives of kids, teenagers,
Yeah.
even adults in Saudi Arabia. So thank you,
From
Jack
all
Kirby.
kinds of generations. Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. Super M and Son of Sparda. Any last thoughts, comments before we bring our live stream to an end?
For one thing, I want to thank our guest, SuperM. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. And man, come back anytime. It's always fun meeting new people and talking to people from different parts of the region. And hopefully, at some point, we can maybe come out there, or if you'd like to come out here and meet with us in person, that'd be fun also.
Yes, yes. Thank you. I'm very pleased. I'm very I feel so happy to be with you guys. It was an interesting. It was a great 2 hours. You know, I'm always available whenever you want to meet here in Riyadh. Hopefully in Jeddah. On an episode like that. Hope to see you both in Capecast, inshallah, soon. So thank you for inviting me. It was a great pleasure. Thank you for giving me the chance, to experience this, not only to present myself to your audience, but also to have the experience to have a conversation with well-experienced guys like you. So this is why I said in the first minutes of the episode that that's why I considered you both legends for the local community. You should really take the credit. You should feel it because
We,
as you said in the beginning, the impact that uh, those sorts of things could have on the younger generation, and I can feel it with the generation that's younger than me. Okay, even if it's 2 years or 3 years, I feel how they love to see someone in the same interestings, the same who is a nerd as much as them. So keep at it, keep going. I'm always available whenever you guys want to chat. It was a great honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
first of all, it will always be our pleasure, and the reason we don't take credit for it is because first of all, uh, we there is no difference between you and us. We are all superhero fans, and if we in any way have been able to encourage you, inspire you, give you hope, that's part of our responsibility. This is not something as we might call it, as we say in Arabic, ihsan. La, malish. This is what we are
Yeah,
supposed to do. And in fact, what you have shared, I mean, both of us have been at it on it for so long. We just didn't realize it that how much we were able to basically encourage and inspire or motivate you guys into doing all of this. All of you are tremendously talented. One thing that I have to say is that when you are coming to Jeddah, you are our guest. You are not going to accept anybody
thank you.
else as host. Okay. And me and Son of Sparda are not going to be listening to any other
Shukran.
argument for it. Okay. So just whenever you decide to visit us in Jeddah, it will be a huge honor for us to host you. My regards to rest of the MDC team, and
Thank you.
uh, we both of us owe a great deal of thank you to you that you took out the time, 2 hours of your valuable time to join us on our live stream, to interact and engage with our community. And one message that I want to share from Ladzen is he or she, I'm not sure. Ladzen has
He's
said,
my
thank.
friend.
He's your
He's my friend. Yes, he's
okay.
from Morocco.
Oh,
So
mashallah,
yeah,
mashallah, Habibi, sharafna ya Ladzen. So, Ladzen says, thank you so much, guys. Bilaks, thank you, Ladzen. Thank you, Super M.
yeah.
Thank you, Son of Sparda, who
Thank you.
had to run because he has some commitment. Thank you to each and every one of you who took out the time to watch our live stream. Please make sure to like this video, share it, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to MDC, follow Super M on Instagram. His handle is itsSuper.M. Follow him on X, a promising young talent offering great reviews, not just on live action movies or TV series or animation, but more importantly on comics. God bless you all. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you.